call the Finance Committee meeting to order June 8th, 2017, 9 a.m. Amanda, call the roll, please.
Sure. Bill.
Present.
Johnson. Anderson.
Present. Any public comments? Any public comments? Randy, liability and general insurance.
Nothing, I spent too much of this on, I did want to point out, so the liability provider for the county and the one that's been there for 20 years is EIE, which is a exchange, kind of a group that it's a captive insurance company that's funded by all members, all municipalities are part of it. And it's called EIE, Government Inter-Insurance Exchange. Anyway, they have a quarterly meeting every year, management meeting, and they always invite the board, and I know Rod Cook went one year and got a lot out of it. That meeting is close to part of this order in Danville, 2 weeks from tomorrow, so if anybody's interested, it'd be an exciting meeting about insurance, but also they talk a lot about, it's made up of all municipalities, and they have a lot of discussion around liability, any kind of liability issues that can come up with the county. And anyway, pretty much everybody will board by it, and I will go, but I need to let the company know in advance if you're going to go. So if anybody has any interest in this, let me know, and I can get an invitation out to them. Other than that, that's all I want.
All righty, any questions for Randy? All right, thanks, sir.
Yep.
The group insurance.
I've been working with the carriers and every regional, and I should have one line by the end of the week tomorrow. I'm going to do that, and we're working with the 8% on the rate.
Nice.
I think that, we'll work with Hotline, and we know that I'll work with them as well to bring. We're not that, we'll bring that down as well. So, that's all I have at the moment.
All right. Any questions? All right, thank you. All right. Timing of the FY18 budget.
I just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page and that we get things scheduled. I made copies of, like the calendars that we've had, the agenda. I didn't make one for everybody. I figured you guys can share. Like the last 3 years, so that you kind of have an idea of what we've done. So, timing-wise, here's what happened for those of you that are new. Around the first week of July, maybe sometimes the second week, depending on how I'm doing timing-wise, I send budget worksheets out to each of the department heads, elected officials, for all the departments and funds that fall under their area of responsibility. All the salaries for anyone who has a union contract, those are all those numbers are in. All the payroll numbers for any elected officials, that's already set, those numbers are all in, and the payroll numbers for everyone else, it's in at this year's rate. So then what the department heads all do is fill in any increases they want, and then all the other lines. They get them back to me typically by the third week of July, and then the fourth week of July, we've historically had either 2 or 3 days. Last year we had just 2 days, and it seemed to work. They go rather quickly, where we meet for a half a day here, maybe. It never really lasts all the way till noon. From like 9 to noon, we're usually out a little bit early, where each one of the department heads come in with copies. Each board member will receive a book with a copy of the budget already there, recommended. So then the department head will walk you through any changes in their budget year over year, and they're available for questions. You can see how they've been scheduled in the past. For most, it takes about 15 minutes. A department head, there are some that are a little bigger departments or have more areas of functionality that take a little bit longer, but you can see how the timing has worked out. That's always been historically, since I've been here, the last week of July. Then we roll up all the numbers, and we're $350,000 short, almost every year. Revenue to expenses. Expenses are higher than revenue. And then the next week is the finance committee meeting, and then we start working on how to, for the general fund, really make revenues equal expenses. So, timing-wise. And then usually we try to be done by September. There might be a lagging thing, and there are some things like the insurance, since we're putting the insurance out for bid, that may not be done. It depends on how it goes. Sometimes, if we're lucky, we're done by September, because I have to post the budget for 3 weeks before it's voted on by the board. So if you back up, it's got to be voted on by November's board meeting, so that it's in effect for December 1. Sometimes we've been able to vote on it in October if things go well, which means it's got to be approved by September for me to post, so that the timing works out. So what I'd like to do is get an idea from the committee and get the budget hearing date scheduled, and let me know if you want changes to what we've done historically. But if I can get that timing set out, then I kind of know I can start backing up on what I have to do.
It looks like it's a great idea. I'm sure it's going to be conflicts for somebody here or there, and there always is, but there's no way you're going to get it perfect, so.
Right. I mean, I've historically, we've run into, like, there might be a department head that's on vacation that week, so we'll roll them over to the next week, or to the, finance meeting. Sometimes there's a lagger, somebody that's not there, but
Yeah.
well, I'm wondering if that's, if we follow the historic timing, that would be this. I would have all the worksheets out to, hopefully, to all the department heads by the 7th, is my target. They would have them to probably the 19th to return it to me, so that I can put the books together, make sure everybody's got copies, start to do all that, and then I've got a couple days to do that, just so that it's organized. And then historically, we've done the hearings like here, whatever date would work for the committee.
Any objections?
Good idea. Okay, I'll continue it. It's been a very good layout that we've had the last few years. He's got very well organized.
Gotta get it done Wednesday, the 24th of July.
Yeah.
I can be in Iowa that week. Not saying that about me, but.
Good plan, man. Yeah, and it seems like it's always, no matter what we've got,
Yeah, I'm not
somebody's
saying
got a
we
problem,
need to
but-
change anything.
If we pushed it back a
We'll be in Des
week,
Moines.
You'll have a booklet with all the black and white of everything in it, so it's easy to catch up on.
But
You can do it every day or
the
two.
issue is the second Tuesday is here, which means finance is going to be here. You could, if you wanted, do them here, and then meet on Thursday, if you wanted.
And all the other committees.
Right, that's true. You will have the other meetings this week.
Is there any, maybe a couple days adjustment that would help for your case?
I know I got meetings Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, no, you don't have to do it about me, I'm just letting you know, whatever. Conflict.
If we moved it up a week,
That we can pair.
yep. Which is why
I'm here, that's on the internet. Yeah. First option, probably gonna be the.
Yeah, it's kind of the way we always end up with this, trying to find a different time, and it's just difficult time of the year.
We'll call it 125th. 4th.
Okay,
Working on that.
okay. And then, do you want them from 9 to noon again? Okay.
Let me check that.
Those are just the last 3 years.
24th or so?
Timing works okay for everybody, all of you guys out there? Okay.
Put me down for Tuesday, because I'll be on Paris on
Oh, I think we did yours the following, so are you going to do just 911, right, not joint dispatch? So we actually did yours last year at the Finance Committee meeting because the key drivers of this whole process is really the general fund is where all the angst is. So we could schedule you, if that works better, Nida, for that Finance Committee meeting on August 3rd. Does that sound okay? Better?
I can probably make that Monday. Is this probably how it's going to be in the morning?
Probably.
In the afternoon. I can make one of the that one?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Next on the agenda, discuss changes to the insurance bid package.
I did email everyone. I didn't print hard copies today, but I emailed you all on Tuesday the copies, another copy. You had gotten a copy last month, and I think the month before. Last month and the month before, we had passed out the one from 5 years ago. So this month, Amanda went through, and she updated just all the dates. Everything else she left as is, but she updated the dates. And I wondered if there were any requested changes by any of the board members to anything other than the dates which we changed. Everybody?
I had two things.
Okay.
And maybe I'm just too over the top, but under evaluations and considerations, where it goes, other factors deemed to be relevant, I thought maybe we should be more specific and add, and more specifically, timeliness in assessing claims and providing reimbursement. Two of the biggies. Is that too specific, or?
Well, the only issue with that is I don't know how we judge that. Do we expect them to give us some sort of measurement?
I think that they should. Most of them will say, that they can give, like if it's a total loss or something like that, they'll give you X amount to sustain you or to put you someplace else so that you can continue business as usual. That's what I was looking at. That's just
Did you
me.
get that language? Can you repeat that?
If the last sentence is other factors deemed to be relevant, and then I put, and more specifically, timeliness in assessing claims and providing reimbursement.
The other one?
And the other one, under risk management, it just says, risk management services will be delivered in the first policy year. I thought that probably we should perhaps add in following years, if applicable. So adding and following years for training. It just kind of needs to, so that they don't just feel it's a one-year thing. It needs to happen again. That's all I have.
Anything? Else have any changes? You email that to the whole board? Just finance.
Just finance.
Email to everybody.
Okay. Okay. You want us to put those changes in first and then email it out before Tuesday? Okay.
Any changes to the committee at that time? Anything else on that one, Anita? That's it.
No, that's it.
Discuss revolving loan fund resolution. Still no resolution?
No.
Lots of discussion.
Correct.
Yeah, that's right, I think people on that one. Miscommunication, it's not bad, it's just one, it's miscommunication. Jim saw something, I know it was out there, and then I thought we could take care of discussion, you were doing the resolution, I contacted him last night to make sure he had it ready for today's meeting. There's nobody to ask him to do the resolution. And, I wasn't sure that I had authority to ask him to do a resolution, but I guess I can't, I'll get together and get back, that was a bad thing. The day I called home, the next day for, last night, we just recently vacation, so I got this month forward.
I can resend the 2 emails that I already sent him. I'll forward both of those and copy them to you.
And I will get together with him and make sure, he said this, don't need more discussion, because I was so happy about my decision. But I didn't love the law on out, so I shouldn't assume anything again. Anyway, it did like, so, not forgot.
Department head report. Mindy?
We're busy working in Texas. Everything's going well.
Lisa?
Number finance, Kyle.
Sheriff?
I had a retirement May 20th for correctional officer, hired a replacement on May 15th. So, other than that, we're staying steady every day.
Okay. Ida?
I just wanted to ask for a quick report on Senate Bill 1839. I talked to this judicial last night, and what we're asking for the House and the Senate both passed it, is increases our funds from 87 cents to $1.50. And we're simply asking everybody to call the governor's office. On the back of the front sheet is the governor's number, and just simply give them your name, your phone number, and you give them and tell them that you support Senate Bill 1839 to help fund 911. Everybody supports, families can call, anybody and everybody can call that to get support of the bill. It should increase our funding, which is obviously
a very, very good system. And you will see, it says whole mining self-rescuers, is how it all started. That this is a shell building that. So, that's what they're for.
That it? Ovation?
Only that we did receive grant aid for August, September. I've had numerous conversations with Mr. Bogle on the board. They're trying to take action on the delay, and I'm hoping we start receiving grant aid on a more consistent basis, but spring. I've had a lot of conversations, and hopefully, if they have information or order, there's money released, because they know about the big problem on a lot of our system.
Bob? Eric?
No, nothing to define.
Ken? Anything else? Hey? Anita? You have anything?
I do just have one question. I'm wondering, this would be timing-wise for the budget, I would typically ask Clifton Larson Allen for estimates of their engagement letters for next year, or we're at the end of a 2-year, we had a 2-year agreement with them. And so I guess, do you want me to just ask Clifton Larson Allen? Did you want to do something about looking for soliciting bids from another qualified accounting firm? What would the committee like me to do? Historically, we were paying maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the rates were going up and we were at about $48,000. And we're now down to $38,000 because of some changes. I think I wouldn't expect it to go down if we ask Clifton Larson Allen, because that's kind of unusual. They've already given me credit for the work that, all the work papers I do for them, so it's already done. So the only thing that may impact them is the fact that we're doing less grants, the end of the grants, although for this year it won't matter because the grants, the big grants that public health had, those being gone may impact the next few years. They gave us credit for the fact that we are under the threshold for a single audit. That is $750,000 in grants, which we don't get that much. So we got credit. That was part of what decreased our rates as well. I wouldn't expect a big change up or down from Clifton Larson Allen. I just didn't know if the committee wanted to try and solicit bids from other accounting firms at this point, or would you like to contact them for a 1-year, multi-year?
How many years have they been now?
I've been here 5 years, and they've been the auditor the whole time.
Are you satisfied with that?
Yeah. I mean, I complain every year, but that's the nature of the relationship, I think. They're very detailed. When I look back on the audits that occurred before the county had Clifton Larson Allen, I'm surprised at the things that got through, knowing what I know. Ms. Kelly?
What was the payout at that point? How much did it cost then? Because I realized, I mean, just...
It was 40, even back then, I think it was 42, something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. We only have, we converted to this software in 2011, so I don't have anything before that. Let me see.
It's always been 40,000 back 10 years ago, better. I will say that the way things were organized back then, it's probably didn't cost more.
Yeah.
Because when they walked in, we had a real mess going, because
Computer wasn't.
we had staff retire, and we had the show until what? Probably about 2001, and then I think we started winging it after that, and we had a soul flying for a while.
They were shopping insurance currently. We get at least a 1 year. They were saying, everything at one time.
I don't, what is it that, I know in public companies, you don't, switching auditors is looked at as a bad thing, that you're shopping for somebody that wants your, and I don't know how that's looked upon in government, but I know in the business world, that would be, no. You know, and that, bringing in another set of eyes to look at things, it sounds like, it's a great ideal, but at the same time, this is not like a traditional business where there's eyes looking at everything that everybody does all the time. And so you just got that extra step of an auditor coming in that you have to have. And so, that ideal, changing auditors every so many years, I'm not really sold on the ideal in government, but
You can't do it too often, but you should do it once in a while.
Yeah, just so you don't get too familiar.
But we've had 3 or 4 of them the last 25 years.
It looks like,
Something the other one didn't.
it looks like, there was, we paid $43,000 in 2011. Then it went up to 48 and has come back down to 38.
Didn't we put it out for bid several times during this time?
No, not during the 5 years I've
Not
been
really?
here.
We
I'll
did
say
before
this, the advantage to having them is this group is very detailed, very detailed. And every year, the better we get at everything, the deeper they dive to find something. So I've been involved in a lot of audits over the decades. I've never had an auditor that goes through as much as this one does.
They gotta find something.
And is as stringent. They're pretty tough, which is good.
Listen, but Jackson will go for 1 more year. The bid is next June-ish.
Okay.
Is that from year to year?
Sign longer term if you choose to.
We had it for several years under one.
Well, I know that, but I didn't know if you had to sign a contract for 2 or 3 years.
If you sign a longer contract, it can sometimes impact your rates lower, but at this point, they've been here 5 years, because when you're going out for bid, you definitely want a longer-term contract, because there's a lot of startup costs. So if all you do is bid out a 1 year, they're going to put all those startup costs in that 1 year. And you're always going to look year to year, they always look at their baseline. So if you give a longer-term contract, and it's not unusual to have like a 5-year contract, then they're going to spread those over the 5 years. Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay. I have a copy of the historic past trends for the various entities. Anybody have any discussion on glaring issue? explain the glaring issues? Finance Director?
Well, most,
Color on this.
there is, I don't have a color printer, but you're right. It's, on my computer, it's real pretty, but it's not here. So you can see, obviously, the general fund, is so consistent, and the trend is so consistent. We are at the lowest point typically. We have cash, which is right before the first tax distribution. I would anticipate next month will go down farther. We're not far off where we've historically been. We're better off than we were in 14, but it's very, extremely consistent. If you go to public health, you can see what's going on there. The big increases really last year in their cash. Their cash is down at this point. They're at 92% of their, typically what we have seen, what I've seen since I've been here, is that November, December is the point of highest cash in every entity, in every fund we have. So following that logic, that's why I want to know each month, what percentage am I of the December cash? Am I consistent in the way we're decreasing or increasing our cash based on the historic trend? So you can see they're a little bit lower than they were the last 2 years. They were 98% of their ending cash or starting cash the last 2 years. Now they're at 92%, not far off, and you can see a cash balance that's high. The other thing to look at is months of operating cash in their account. If you look on the first page, industry trends or guidance requests that you have or recommends that you have 3 to 6 months at least in reserve. We don't have anything what we would deem in reserve. It's operating cash. So in other words, if it was in reserve, we'd have it parked somewhere at a CD or somewhere else at an investment. We don't have that anywhere. But what we have is months of operating cash. So if we got no more cash in for the next several months, how long before we run out of cash? For the general fund, it's 2.7. We've tried to get up over 3. We did it once and not since. So, but still not too far off. Public health, longer time frame, theirs is going up. Some of that was ramping up from their initial startup. They're at 10.7 months. Moving on to 911 EPSC, there you can see the big change, a couple changes when they discontinued the transfers to joint dispatch. That had an impact, and then the rate change, the last rate change that came, that had a big impact. So you can see where they're at. They've got 7.4 months in operating cash. And then joint dispatch, our sad child, who's down to $36,000, 2.3 months in operating cash. The concerning thing with this is if you look at every other entity we're looking at here, you can see each year the line's a little bit higher, right? The cash balance is just a little higher in most cases, a lot higher in some cases. With joint dispatch, every year, this cash balance it's following the same trend throughout the year, but it's going down. We have a cash problem in this entity. Now at this point, typically in May, we've gotten historically like the second half of City of Watseka, which is a big number. It didn't come in May, so I'm hoping it's on its way. I think that's when is that the start of their fiscal year? Okay, last week, so it'll be in June. It'll be in June. It probably didn't make the May 31st cutoff. So, because they deposit on Friday, so it's got to be here by Friday at 10 in order to get in that week. So that hopefully has been righted itself. Yep, that'd be right. Good, good. And then highway, you can see the highway fund, there's really not a big change in the balance, but if you look at months of operating cash, that's at almost 17 months of operating cash. The next fund is, the other one, the last one, is motor fuel tax, and you can see a big deposit. That was a huge allocation from the state of Illinois that was received last December, I think, or sometime, so cash went way up, I guess, just 2 months ago, April.
April, oh, that was for taking that.
That slab.
Right, yeah, we got a road that we got to fix, and that's the money to fix the road.
Right, right. So, are there any questions about any of those?
Questions?
Very interesting.
On that? Claims, and finance claims, P&P claims, and one for judicial. Start with Sheriff, you want to touch on the judicial one?
Yes, Edward Jones is our company that we buy badges from. There's a claim in there for $1,580 some dollars, I believe it is.
$1,588.
That was not budgeted in July of last year for several reasons. One, I wasn't sure what the public safety referendum, which was even going to be put on the ballot, and what the outcome of that was. And I didn't know what type of retirement I was going to be having in 2017. But it takes about 4 months to get those badges made and once they're ordered and shipped to us. So I do know that I've got a position leaving the end of this fiscal year in November that I'll have to replace. Whatever the committee or the board decides to do with the public safety money and hire additional deputies, I would need badges for them. And then I have one deputy that can go any day that he wants. So in anticipation, I think the last time we bought badges was either 2003 or 2004. So I had bought enough to get us through new hires over the next several years, if that is to happen, and not have to wait on the badges. Typically, I would put $1,000 out of the drug abuse fund. I usually put $1,000 in expenses out of it because traditionally, year to year, we don't have that many expenses coming out of it. That fund right now is $12,294.79. And those funds can only be used for certain things under the Drug Asset Forfeiture Act, which one of them is law enforcement equipment. And not to bore you too much, but it basically says here, any cost associated with the purchase or operation of law enforcement equipment for use by law enforcement personnel, which includes but not limited to office supplies, radios, body armor, uniforms, firearms, cell phones, electronic surveillance equipment, etc. So badges are part of the uniforms, and I know in the past, sheriffs prior to me have used the Drug Asset Forfeiture Fund when they bought badges along with other things. So I needed to get this done because I can't be behind the 8 ball if we hire people. I can't put people out on the road without badges. So with the 4-month turnaround by the time you order them, I didn't have, had I known that I would have budgeted $2,000 in expense out of the Drug Asset Forfeiture Fund, and this would be covered by it, but so that's where it is from my standpoint.
From an accounting standpoint, do you need any special motion? All covered. Do I have any questions on the finance claims? policy claims or sheriff.
Danny County is zoning for tomorrow, if you want to run those payments through here, or just run straight to the full board?
Administrate the full board. I'm assuming there's not an overabundance of them. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it looks like $1,132 and some change for mileage. Small, administrative office, so yeah, we'll just send it there. No other questions? I entertain a motion to approve the claims.
Second.
Questions? All of them. May I call the roll, please?
McTaggart? Yes. Walsh?
Yes.
Stone?
Yes.
Curtis? Johnson? Yes. Anderson?
Yes. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? Make a motion to adjourn. For a second. For a third. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Meeting adjourned.